All right. So, Samantha, are you married? No. Nope. How old are you? 51. Kids? Yes. How many? You have to type now that you have that.
Yes.
Talking
Two.
to that. There. Two. How old are they?
19 and 21.
Oh, awesome. Perfect time to get them. I mean, include them.
Yes. Yeah, really.
By the way, if you don't have kids, you need them. They're tax deductible. They are such an advantageous group. They are. They're such a great asset to this whole plan.
Good.
Yours are a little old, but we got time. Are you incorporated?
I have an LLC.
Yeah, Arizona.
Yes.
And what's in it?
Just my health and coaching business.
Okay, good. We'll come back to that in a minute. Do you have a trust?
I do.
Revocable?
Yes.
And do you have life insurance?
Yes.
Not term insurance. Term is death insurance.
Well, I have an annuity for $100,000 that I've had since I was 19
So that was a legacy gift?
from myself.
At 19, somebody put you into annuity?
Yeah, what do you know when you're 19? Somebody sold me something, and I was like, okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so
No.
you have a $100,000 annuity?
Yeah, that's the life insurance is $100,000.
So is it an annuity or life insurance?
It's both, but I don't have a lot of money. I don't keep a lot of money in there. When it builds up, I can take it out without penalty.
Okay, we'll put that little asset up there. And that's good for now. Let's talk about your income. How much money do you make?
0 right now.
How do you make 0?
Because I'm just starting the business.
Did you have a job before this?
I did, yes.
And how much did you make?
I made about 80.
And was it in
80,000.
this tax year term? Was it 2019?
No. No, I've
So-
made like
What have you made through 2019?
like about 17.5.
So far this year? Mm-hmm. Okay. But it's in an LLC.
That one was through real estate, so it's a 1099 income.
Are you an agent?
I am.
Okay. And so this is real estate income.
Yeah.
And no money in that health business?
No, I'm not making money because I had to, get the education and then start rolling it out. So I'm ready to roll now. I have about $8,000 in my checking account for my LLC.
And where'd the $8,000 come from?
From my checking.
From yourself and you funded
From
it?
myself, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So no other income?
No, I have 401ks but not income.
So how much in the 401k?
The 401k is 54.
How much?
54,000.
Okay.
And then I have a traditional IRA that is 54. And a Roth that's 14.4.
Okay. What
And
else
a
you got?
pension
And a pension?
Mm-hmm.
From where?
from Maricopa County. That's 78.
78,000?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else you got?
And then I have a house that's got about 118.
In equity?
Yeah.
So let's do it that way. Okay.
And I have some credit card debt.
Now we go to the liability side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how much credit card debt?
30.
Okay. Personal or business?
Personal.
Okay. And what else? Any other liabilities? Vehicles?
I do have a car. Yes, it's. I think I owe like $12,000, but my payment's $500 a month.
How much? 12,000? You owe?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other debt? I mean, obviously the house, but we put the equity up, so we don't do that.
No, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. And how much do you spend, and where are you pulling it if you don't make any money?
I'm pulling it from savings.
Where's savings?
Yeah, I do have a savings, which I'm living off of $27,000.
Where'd that come from?
Real estate.
So what are your monthly expense? How many months do we have
About
left?
$5,000 are my expenses.
Okay. And what do the kids do? Do they live with you? Do they have their own?
They're in college and they have their own places. One's in the dorm and one has her own apartment.
And are you helping subsidize that at all?
Not currently, no.
Okay. Are they here in town?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, well, in Arizona.
Right, okay. They're not married?
No.
Okay. So that's what you make. You're burning through your savings.
Yes.
Does that make you nervous?
A little bit, but
Have you always made money? You seem like you
Yeah.
always would make money.
yes.
So this
yeah,
isn't nervous.
there's always a way to make money,
Okay.
you know.
What are you doing with the real estate? Has that been the way? Like, how have you made money in the past?
Well, mostly I worked at a trauma center, so I was getting paid there because
Are you a nurse?
A respiratory therapist.
So you have all sorts of skills.
I do, yeah.
So respiratory therapist, real estate, what else?
I was a hairdresser at one time. I mean, I've done it all because I get bored and I have to learn more.
How many are you like that? Right?
So, you know, I have all of these things. Real estate I love, but, you know, medicine is really makes my heart sing. So,
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add at this moment? Okay. So what do you want? Let's go up here.
I want to be
What's
a
freedom
millionaire.
look like? What?
Oh, free.
So
Freedom.
you want to be a millionaire?
Yes, I do.
All right. And net worth? Okay. What else?
Um,
So let's get to the micro. How do we get there? What do you want to do?
Well, probably real estate, some flips would be the, you know, fastest way to bring some income in.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
And what?
I don't really know about that, but yeah.
Okay.
And that I would have to learn more about the wholesaling thing. I have done a flip before.
In town?
Yeah. And my partners
Do
were
you use your
terrible.
money or are you using other people's money?
Other people's and ours.
Okay. Good.
So, but I kind of
Are,
lost
are
on
any of
that
your
deal.
IRAs self-directed?
No.
We have to come up with a new color here.
Okay.
Red. 911.
Immediately. Do
Yeah.
this immediately.
Well, and then I'm going to put 1231. This has to happen before. So you're already incorporated. Did you pay a lot of tax last year?
Not really, because I had a loss on the flip.
Okay.
So, no.
And the year before? Because one of the first things we do, because it's for her and for you guys, is take you through that 3-year tax return review. Because there are some folks, like literally you got, what, 72 grand back? I know we've done like an average person will get, I mean, minimum, I think that Weldon's ever got back would be like 9,000. Like, you get a lot of money back that you don't know because you haven't used all the deductions.
Right. Okay.
So we're going to do a tax return review. Okay, well, you got to have self-direct. What are your IRAs invested in now?
Well, one I have in Banner, so it's invested with the Banner network. So as an employee, because I used to be an
Okay.
employee. So,
But you could
otherwise
pull
just-
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Any
what's
of
it doing?
those, the 401k is doing pretty well in the
What's
the
pretty well?
Banner. I could never find the number. Like, I looked everywhere. I couldn't find, you know, I'm seeing like minuses here.
See, that's
and
what's
then-
interesting about some of you that say, I want safety and security. That seems safe because you don't have to be bothered with it. Versus I'd be in a sheer panic that there's no phone number that has the access to the people who invest your money into things you don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, I know when I left that company, I left it 45,000 and it's 54 now, and that's been 4 years. So I know right there it's okay. It's not
It's
the way you're
okay.
looking at me, it's not great. But it's better than the others.
Was my face speaking?
And
Okay,
that's-
so
they're
we have
all
to.
kind of performing the same
I'm going to
way.
write this funny. Find them. You got to kind of find your stuff. Okay.
Yes. Find them.
What else you have? Your pension, house. I would have this reviewed just to see what that is.
Okay.
A lot of you in the beginning, I mean, I know you think that we're really drastic, but we're not. We're just annuity. It's just to review it. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, but then you'll have tax consequences of changing it. So it's kind of a whole formula of
It
looking at
doesn't
what do you really
have
want.
money or anything in it. I mean, I could close it at any time.
Okay, so back up here. What's the number one thing you think you need to do? What's obvious? Anybody else see what's obvious?
Yes, I have to make some money.
Oh, for sure.
And start taking some of those. consequences.
all of this right here. You've got 100 and say, what, 15,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's lazy. Right, so there's some gold in there.
Okay.
But still, you're not going to really live on the cash flow of that. That's just going to help ramp that up.
Mm-hmm.
But over here, what do you want your business to do? Do you really want to do this wellness health thing? Like, how long have you wanted to do this?
When I was working in healthcare and completely burnt out and had to recover and all of this, I really want to help the healthcare workers that are burnt out. So that is a love for me, but
Like, what's your business model? How would you make money?
Mostly by speaking, workshops.
Nobody makes money
coaching,
talking.
you know. So, yeah.
We
I mean,
just
I'm
talk.
okay with real estate. I can just slide right in there because I've been doing it long enough.
But do you have an offer on the other side?
An offer.
Like today, if Brent's a healthcare worker and stressed out, what would you do for him? How would you charge him money? What's your model?
I would put him in a 6-month program.
What if he doesn't need 6 months?
That's not really
That's
the way
good.
we do it. Because we're working on emotional, diet, and nutrition. So it's pretty much a 6-month program. It could be group coaching or one-on-one coaching.
Okay, I'm just giving you a little feedback. What if I don't want to do 6 months, and what if I don't want to be with a group?
Yeah. Well, then we could talk about it.
We're talking.
I'm open.
This is called talking.
I'm open.
This is called talking. Sorry, I'm kind of funny. So but there's a big lesson in that. Anybody hearing it? What is it? There needs to be immediate money now, even if it's $10, to help Brent understand why he would pick you over everyone else.
Okay.
Right? So it's fast cash model, we call it. So you need a way to make fast cash. And the other thing that a lot of you do is you come up with your offer in a vacuum, and you really need to do an assessment. That's why that gap analysis kind of a model works. You say, Brent, so what do you want? And then you'd assess him, emotional, diet, all the things you do. And then you prescribe him based on his diagnosis. Does that make sense? Whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, this is the way to sell or create value, is what do they want and give them what they want. What a lot of you do, because again, we're so occupationally trained, you give them a package, and what if they don't want it? Right out of the gate, they'll say no. And the biggest thing, we'll talk more about sales this afternoon, is when you teach people or tell people how you're going to do something to them, then they're deciding not on their result, right? I want to get healthier. I don't like the way you're doing it to me. You don't want them to decide on the how you're doing something to transform them. You want them to decide on a result. Like, I'll get you out of debt, but it's not going to look anything like any of you ever think. And I'm not going to tell you how, till you pay. You guys get it? But you have to be that clear. Like, the minute you go into, and then we're going to do this, like, if you really knew, like, how many have done P90X? Like, really did it. Not watched it on TV and those cute little bodies they put on there. I mean, actually did it. You can kind of see.
That's the best example in the whole wide world.
What?
That's the best example in the whole wide world.
It's hell.
But they don't tell you that.
Done. Oh, no. They just put up these sexy models and bodies, and you're going to have that like that by doing that workout. Oh, no, you're going to grueling sweat. And they forget to tell about the diet part. So my point is, the more you tell people how you're going to do something to them, they're voting on the how versus the result. You sell the result. So you need a business model, which is why you're not selling. Okay. Okay, so we need a business model. How much could you make in that? Do you know anybody else who's doing it? You could make $100,000, couldn't you?
Yeah, I probably could.
So that would be a good first goal.
Yes.
That'd be a 2020 goal, is to get $100,000 in on that business.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the meantime, why don't you do some partners so you don't have to consume a ton of energy? How much could you make in flips?
Oh, geez, probably another 100.
Oh, geez. I'm going to put 2.
Okay. I like it.
Because when you have partners, you don't have to work so hard.
Okay.
Right? And then that handles. So of the 300, how much, right? So in a millionaire model, you got to make more money. So let's just say in 2020, you get a plan, 2020, to make $300,000. How much do you need to move over here to assets? Straight away.
Probably 200.
At least, because you're only living on 5.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put I'll let you live a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I'd like to live a little bit bigger than I am now.
But think about this, right? You put your money to work, right? And then the passive income could either come back over here and you live on it, or it could just cycle back in and continue to accumulate.
Okay.
So when you're making enough money in cash flow, you don't need to have cash flow out of your assets, or you can just continue to reinvest it. Does that make sense? So there's this elusive thing just in money that says, I want passive income. Like, what does that really mean? And do you really need it if you're making enough money? No, because that's just more taxable income. So you keep it all moving here in its own what we call wealth cycle. So the income comes back, you get more, and just keep moving it, and then diversifying it.
Okay.
That makes sense how we're going to do that?
Yes.
So income's your biggest challenge, but you still have some money to move over here. The 115, you could do a flip. I mean, we'll talk about some ideas. In a very creative IRA structure, right? I have 100 in mine. I could borrow you 100. You could borrow me 100. Now we have 200 cash. And then we could go do flips with cash in the same project.
Nice.
You take back yours. I take back mine. Are you guys interested in these creative ideas? Did you sketch that?
Yeah,
That was really fast. Really good.
that was awesome.
I know. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want this plan? And first of all, do you feel like this is very, in our world, this is not difficult to do?
Okay.
Does this feel like overwhelming to you? Does it
No.
feel easy?
No, it's good.
What part looks like the hardest part?
Just for me not knowing how to roll everything over, but
You
now
don't
that I
have to.
Team,
The team will do
the
it.
team is going to help.
And while they do that, guess what you're going to do?
I'm going to work
This
on
is
that.
your biggest work to do.
Okay.
Is to figure that out. Don't you guys agree? Because part of these makeovers is to educate you on how and what to look at. Okay? So in order of sequence, because we have year end, once you start doing your flip business, depending on how big that gets, you need to have another LLC. You're going to need, right? But right now, this one's not really being used because this one's not making any money. So what you could do is use this for your flips, get another one as you're heading into next year. So then you have two. You have an LLC for this, you have an LLC for this, and start making the money.
Okay.
What else, Scott? It's all money for you. I mean, this is like number one. You got to get this stuff self-directed, though, by the end of the year. So I would say this is 1A. Let's move the money and then focus on making more money and do all the reviews.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
So the two would just kind of be a combination of all the reviews.
Okay.
Anything else you do? Go make money.
Okay.
So because you have assets, so like this is where you start deciding, do you do big tables? So in our world, in our community, you've all heard the big table. So the big table is a lifetime deal. It's a one-time, it's like a country club membership, right? So for you and your family, it's $25,000. If you don't have a family, they come when you get one. If you don't have kids, they come when you have some, or borrow some. They're tax deductible. You should. And then we have an income program, which just focuses on $100,000, right? So there's kind of two choices. But I know Stacy's back there, going to come talk to you. I would do the big table with the 100K blueprint. So give her the model. We know how to make $100,000 in a year. It's like that. It's a very aggressive business modeling, sales and marketing program. And we really teach you how to be an entrepreneur. Because if you can't get to $100,000 as an entrepreneur, honestly, you should probably keep a job. It's a lot of work. And the other side of that is because without $100,000, you don't have enough money to hire a team. So then you keep doing everything. You do your own ClickFunnels, you do your own accounting, you do your own stuff because you don't have enough money to hire. It's not that the business doesn't work. You don't have enough money to hire, so then you end up failing. Most businesses fail because you can't get capitalized and you can't make the money. You're not creating enough revenue. That makes sense? So our goal is to get you to $100,000 as fast as we can so you have enough money to do the things you need to do, which is hire a team. Some of you said, I want to work less. The way you work less is you hire a team, and they do all the work. You guys get that? And then what are you doing? What are you doing if the team's doing the work? Leading. Let's use the word, like you're leading. Creating more opportunities, creating more joint ventures, right? Creating and expanding. But you're not doing the work. If you're the one doing the work, you've got the wrong model. Like it's a cycle for exhaustion, number one. And you don't know really how to do it, so it's sort of substandard work anyway. You know what I mean? So you kind of have half-assed stuff. the whole way across the board. So we got to get you the money and hire. Now, what's going to be interesting for a lot of you that have never done that before is in the beginning, like you may make 100 and maybe probably won't bring all that home because you'll be hiring. In the beginning, it's going to feel like you're spinning, but you have to remember you hired people. And the next year, it's going to feel a little more caught up. Okay. Does that make sense? Because as you make it, you'll be spending for growth, which means your take home might not be any more for a little while. Does that make sense to all of you how this works? Yes, no? So exciting. We have a whole bunch of self-directing here to do. Okay.
But it wasn't like I wanted where I'm at right now to wait any longer.
No, you got to go.
I know.
Chop, chop.
Yes. I'm going. Okay, where do I go?
All right. So you ready to jump on board?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have to know how to do it.
Well, we're going to sign a contract, and you're going to give us a credit card or a wire, and they're going to get all that stuff on that table, whatever you don't have, because you need to consume it. That's what's interesting about a lot of clients. They get all that stuff, and it sits in their car. It's like you have to kind of get it out. You got to read it. I can tell in our conversations whether you read any of the books or not. Because unlike other authors that repeat the same conversation, those are all very different stuff. So you'll get all that stuff when you come along. And then your kids are invited to come along, and I'd bring them sooner than later.
And so...
So this is for you and kids.
Okay, I do have a long-term boyfriend. Does he...
What do we do with him?
Throw him in there? Like, he needs this more than I do.
No, not necessarily. Do you guys live together?
Yeah.
Do you own the house, or does he own the house?
He owns the house.
So that's not really your equity.
No, I have my own house that I rent. That's my equity.
Oh, so do you have rental income?
No,
You forgot
I was
about that part?
breaking even.
I was
No.
breaking even,
Yeah.
okay. What are you going to do with him?
Well, I think...
What's the common law rule here in Arizona? There is none? Okay, then you're a little
I'll
safer.
keep him because I like him a lot.
You'll keep him? Okay. Well, he can come along too.
Okay, thank you.
Would that be good?
He needs it more than
Are you going to make him pay for the other half?
Yes.
Well, that's what I would do too.
Okay.
Yeah. And does he have kids?
He does.
How
Yes,
many?
3.
So this is a package for 7?
Yeah.
Sheesh. How old are those kids?
16, 14, and 12.
Oh, they're perfect. They're moldable.
Yeah.
I'll take them.
Yeah.
They're hireable too. All of them are hireable.
That's great.
All right, so let's go to the big table.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Give her a hand. Let's go do it.